This video is powered by KR Mangalam University.
After successfully foiling the United States' naval blockade attempt, Iran now deals a major strategic blow to Israel, further shifting the balance of power and escalating tensions in the already volatile region. Israel's intelligence agency, Mossad, suffers a significant and embarrassing setback just one day after its spy chief's bold public boast, undermining claims of control and exposing serious vulnerabilities. Amid an uneasy truce on the ground, Iran announces that it has captured multiple alleged Israeli spies, dramatically raising the stakes and sending a clear warning to Tel Aviv about covert operations. I'm Aisha Varma. Let's dive in. Amid its ongoing war with both the United States and Israel, Iran claimed to have captured 4 Israeli spies, according to a recent report that has added fresh tension to the conflict narrative. 4 suspects were allegedly linked to Israel's powerful spy agency Mossad, as reported by Iranian state news outlets that framed the arrests as a major intelligence victory. These alleged spies were reportedly caught in a northern Iranian governorate, according to details carried by Iran's official news agency IRNA, and relayed via Times of Israel reports. According to the Iranian government, the suspects had shared images and precise locations of key military and security sites with Mossad, potentially exposing sensitive targets inside of the country. Iranian reports further claimed that this sensitive information was transmitted to their alleged Israeli handlers online using digital channels to covertly pass on details of strategic installations. The suspects were then handed over to Iran's judicial authorities, even as the broader conflict continued to rage, with officials vowing that they would face serious legal consequences, according to the report. Now, this revelation surfaced just as U.S. officials were reportedly discussing the possibility of another round of peace talks, casting a shadow over diplomatic efforts and complicating any path to de-escalation. Mossad's outgoing chief publicly boasted about the agency's bold covert operations deep inside Iran, making these remarks even as the intense war with Tehran continues to unfold. David Barnea claimed that the Israeli spy agency had been operating right in the so-called heart of Tehran during the current war, highlighting Mossad's reach and its ability to penetrate Iran's capital. The Mossad director said, quote, "We brought precise intelligence to the Air Force and we hit missiles that threatened Israel. But our mission has yet to be completed. We didn't think that this mission would be completed immediately with the end of the battles. But we planned intensively for our campaign to continue and achieve results even in the period after the strikes in Tehran. Mossad's responsibility in the matter will end only when this radical regime is replaced. Regime change in Iran is our mission. We will not stand by watching in the face of another existential threat." Iran issued fresh and fiery military threats against the United States as President Trump's naval blockade of its key ports entered its 3rd day, sharply escalating tensions in the already volatile Gulf region. On April 15th, a senior advisor to Mojtaba warned the United States against its attempts to police the Strait of Hormuz, accusing Washington of overreach and hinting at serious consequences if it continued. Mohan Rezai, the former chief of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and now a powerful military advisor to the new Supreme Leader Mojtaba, personally delivered the latest threat in a pointed public statement. In a highly provocative remark aimed directly at Washington, he even went so far as to invite a U.S. ground invasion, boldly claiming that such a move would ultimately benefit Tehran on the battlefield. Rezai declared that U.S. ships in the region would be sunk by Iran's first missiles in any confrontation, warning that American troops deployed nearby were already in grave and immediate danger. These escalating threats came as the United States pushed ahead with its naval blockade in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, aiming to choke Iran's ports and cut off vital oil exports to the world. The U.S. military's Central Command, meanwhile, insisted that 0 ships had successfully broken through the blockade since April 13th, portraying the operation as airtight and fully under American control. Central Command said that at least 10 ships were intercepted or redirected within the first 48 hours of the blockade, portraying the operation as swift, effective, and firmly under U.S. control. However, maritime tracking data appeared to contradict the U.S. military's confident claims, according to a report by the Times of Israel that raised serious doubts about Washington's narrative. Data from April 14th reportedly showed that at least 3 ships sailing from Iranian ports managed to cross the Strait of Hormuz, suggesting that the blockade was not completely airtight. These 3 ships were said to be among 7 vessels in total that have crossed the strategic strait since the US blockade first began, highlighting clear gaps in enforcement. However, some vessels that initially took this route later turned back, according to a Times of Israel report, indicating confusion, caution, and possible pressure on commercial shipping. Meanwhile, the US Treasury Secretary publicly threatened fresh action against nations that continue buying Iranian oil, warning that they could face new sanctions and financial isolation.
I don't have an update on the tariffs, but I do have an update on sanctions. Iran used to be the largest state sponsor of terrorism. China was purchasing more than 90% of their oil, which is about 8% of China's energy needs. We believe this blockade in the Straits, there will be a pause of Chinese buying, but I will tell you that 2 Chinese banks received letters from the U.S. Treasury. I'm not going to identify the banks, but we told them that if we can prove that there is Iranian money flowing through your accounts, then we are willing to put on secondary sanctions.
And are you
Nick, go ahead. Thank you, Caroline. Go ahead, Nick.
Just a quick follow-up.
So my question's short.
Are you considering any more sanctions relief, Mr. Secretary, for countries that are suffering right now in order to get more oil to your allies?
We will not be renewing the general license on Russian oil, and we will not be renewing the general license on Iranian oil. Because again, that was oil that was on the water prior to March 11th.
Right.
So all that has been used.
Mr. Secretary, you were quoted as saying in an interview earlier this week that it was worth a bit of economic pain for international security. Is that this administration's message to American voters with high gas prices that ahead of the midterms this year that it's worth the economic pain?
Well, the message is the short-term volatility for long-term gain.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.